You can ask Excel to track changes made to a workbook. You can place that workbook in a shared location. You can make it accessible to other people so that they can all contribute to the one file by making it shared. You can then track those changes made by those multiple people. In order to clearly identify who made changes, each of those people involved really need to set up their username first. Each person needs to go into File and into Options and needs to clearly indicate their name in this username field. And I'm going to leave mine as Kathy Barker and click OK. Once everybody has clearly identified their username, we can now go into the Review tab in the ribbon, and in the Changes group, we can turn on the Track Changes by going to Highlight Changes and by ticking this option here. I want to track changes while editing. This will make the workbook shared, and you'll see what that means shortly. I want to highlight changes made by all people, not just certain people, and I want to make all changes when as well. So highlight changes when and who is all and everyone. I'd like to highlight the changes made to this workbook on the screen, so I'll click OK. This now warns me that I need to save the workbook, so I go OK. And now the workbook is a shared workbook, and this appears at the very top of your screen in square brackets, the word shared, which means now multiple people can be simultaneously working with this one workbook at the same time. Now let's make some changes and see how this appears on the screen. If I change Sue Jones to Pat Jones, what happens is I get a blue border around the outside of that cell and a little blue indicator in the top left. If I rest my mouse on the cell, it shows my name, and that's why it's important to clearly identify yourself, and it shows the date and time, and it explains what change I made. I changed what was in A3 from Sue Jones to Pat Jones. Let's make another change. I'll click on this cell and I'll change it to 50. And again, I can see that there's been a change to that cell because there's a blue highlight. Now the whole idea here is that I can now turn around and accept or reject changes made by various people. I can go into Track Changes and I can accept or reject changes. And I'll go OK. It just wants to save the workbook. Now I can say what changes I want to see. I can say I want to see changes not yet reviewed or done since a certain date. I can say I want to see changes made by everyone or just by a certain person or everybody but me. But I'll see all the changes, and I can even say where, as in a certain range of the sheet. But I'll go OK. It takes me to the first of two changes made to this document by Kathy Barker at this date and time. And it explains what I actually did to that cell A3. I can accept that change or reject that change, or I could accept all changes made to this sheet or reject all changes made to this sheet. So I'll accept that change, and it moves to the next change, which I might then reject. And so all the changes have been accepted or rejected. I could go back into Track Changes, I could go back into Highlight Changes, and I could now tell Excel to stop tracking the changes. When I go OK, this message will appear, which basically means it will erase all changes because I've turned Track Changes off. And now the file is no longer shared. It's now exclusive to myself.